Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
And new undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael the Count Bisping.
This is Believe You Me on the Gas Digital Network.
All right, guys, welcome to the show. We are back, second show this week, and Lewis, are you ready? Are you in your seat?
I'm ready. You know, 98% of the people listen to it on audio only. They wouldn't even know that I'm not in my seat.
Yeah, but I do. I'm staring at you. I've been here for 30 minutes staring at a screen.
The show was supposed to start 16 minutes ago. It's ridiculous that he's saying this. It's ridiculous.
No. You said be on early so we can go through things. And I rushed like a headless chicken running around the house like a maniac to stay true to my obligations, to appease you. You said be on early. I'll be on early, doggy. I'll be here shining bright, whistles, you name it.
Did you have to walk all the way to the east wing of Bisping Manor to make it to your podcast early? Oh, did you now?
Hey, don't hate me. Don't hate the player, hate the game, as they say, okay? That's your scenario. This is my scenario. Live with it. Deal with it. Do whatever you want with it. Whatever. Just be on time, doggy. Just don't be taking a fat shit at my expense when I'm staring at an empty screen. I got things to do, people to see. You know, many babies to kiss.
That was weird. So we were last night we agreed we're going to do the podcast super early today because he had things going on. He wanted to spend the day with his son. And then at 6 a.m, I get a text from him. He's like, hey, doggy, I'm just going to bed now. Can we move that back a few hours?
No, you suggested 12 o'clock. And I said, well, let's do it early because I wanted to, it's summer. I want to do something with the kids. But something changed. So I'm like, all right, well, let's just go back to the original time, which you suggested, because you said at 8 o'clock you wouldn't have time. You only got an hour and things like that. So I thought I was doing you a favor. Anywho.
What happened to us?
And what happened? Where did we go wrong?
What happened to us? We used to be best friends. There used to be a fucking twinkle in our eyes. We used to see each other. Now, you know, Hall of Famer Bisping, he just doesn't have the time for the little people.
Whoa.
Please,
that is not fair. That is not fair. Bossing people around. We got a whole rundown of stuff to go through from Harrington, as usual. Good stuff, Harrington. Where are we with the live podcast in Newark, New Jersey next week, Lewis?
It's not in Newark. It's not in Newark, New Jersey. It's supposed to be in New York City. If you confuse people, they're not going to be able to do it. And I'm waiting to get an official okay. I'll just send a little bumper right now. We will make a decision on that literally today. We will have an answer. I just realized how close we're getting. What is it, 2 weeks away? 2 weeks from tomorrow?
Something like that, yeah. Something like that. So, yeah, we need to make a decision. And it is New York City. I just, a slip of the tongue. I'm going to be in Newark, New Jersey. Is there anything non-MMA we want to discuss before we get into the topic sheet? Is anything burning on your mind, Lewis, that you want to get off your chest?
No, there's nothing really going on in life. I mean, you know, let me see. My kid's alive, newly single. Nothing really happening there. Was that face?
I don't know. I went to a water park yesterday.
Oh, that's fun. Which one?
It's called Raging Waters. They're a letdown. They're a letdown. You go there, you're full of excitement. I'm just gonna stand in line. It was so fucking packed. So packed. And to get on each slide, you had to wait about 30, 40 minutes, you know. Standing in the baking sun. The floor is red hot, you know, your feet are burning everywhere you go. The kids start complaining and whining. You know, you get on the slide, it lasts 10 seconds. You know, don't get me wrong, it's a very pleasurable 10 seconds. But, you know, I think the trade-off of waiting in line for 30 minutes to slide down a piece of wet plastic for 10 seconds, it's not a fair trade-off. You know what I mean?
Agree.
I won't be rushing back in a hurry.
When we were in Disney, we brought my son and my niece to Hurricane Harbor, and that was like a relief from the lines. Like it was maybe 10, 15 minutes at the most for the more popular rides. It was a really hot day as well, but I guess, you know, at Disney, that's probably not the most popular attraction. But my son loved it. There's so many, I get so terrified to bring my son to really any amusement park. You hear about all the accidents that happen. You hear like kids will like sit up and then they'll fucking get decapitated. Just like a little headless body slides out the other end.
Well, Harrington, maybe just Google this real fast. I think it was India. I'm not sure. It was on the news a couple of days ago. It could be India. Like a huge fairground attraction at a theme park, like fell apart in midair as it was like swinging left and right, like this big pendulum thing with about 50 people on it.
Oh, yeah. I did see that. 2 people died, right?
Yeah. Yeah, something like, I think it was more died actually, and a lot of people seriously injured. I mean, that is your worst fucking nightmare. Jesus Christ. I remember talking of Disneyland. I remember when I first came out here with the family in 2008, came out and stayed with a friend. We got the kids all psyched up. So, we're going to go to Disneyland. You know, we made it sound like the best thing ever, right? You know, the kids were like, I don't know, what were they? 5 and 3 or something like that, or 6 and 4 or something. So, you know, the main... the highlight of the trip for the kids was going to be Disneyland. So, of course, you know, we got them excited about it, as I said. And we drive to Disneyland and we get on the car park. We park the car, we're walking along, and I feel the earth shake. And it's like going like this. And I'm like, holy shit. You feel that, guys? And they're like, yeah, I do. And everyone's panicking. I thought it was an underground roller coaster that was so fucking powerful it shook the ground. I'm like, that is going to be amazing. And everyone's like, no, you moron. It's a fucking earthquake. It's a fucking earthquake.
You guys get mugged in the parking lot. You're like, look at this ride. It's so realistic. This guy's got a knife and everything. This is awesome.
So, of course, we go into Disneyland. Oh, the terrifying, tragic moment, an amusement park ride goes horribly
there's a
wrong.
video of it too? Oh, there's a video.
Yeah, play it.
I would love to see
it. That's a little macabre. It's a little
macabre.
You know. Well, it's a little macabre. Do you really want to? All right, play it. Let's see the tape of people dying.
Look,
Let's go.
This is real life. This happens.
Jesus Christ, look at that.
They're having a good time right now.
Oh, right now the hands are in the air. Scream if you want to go faster. One way only.
We are at an amusement park. What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong with a giant piece of metal swinging 100 foot up in the air with 50 people and a bunch of gypsies running it and doing the safety tests? Nothing. Nothing can go wrong.
I heard that gypsy is this sort of a frowned upon phrase now.
All right. What do you prefer? Pikey?
Pikey.
No.
Oh, look at it.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
So bad. That's like your worst nightmare. And can you imagine? Oh my God, I shouldn't be saying this, but can you imagine if you're like the proud parent that says, I'm not going to go on. I'm just going to stand on the sideline and take pictures, and it's swinging forwards and backwards. And then you see that. Jeez, that is your worst bloody nightmare. My God. So what was the final result of that, Harrington? How many passed away?
Do we know, Brian, maybe? I saw 2 and then like dozens injured or whatever. That's fucking brutal, man. That's like
2 people dead, 29 injured.
29 injured, 2 people dead. That it's a fear of mine. And when you go to more of a shittier amusement park, I was in Coney Island recently, and I'm on these roller coasters, and I'm like, this is not right. These are not like high-end roller coasters. That you watch the people that are running the rides are, you know, I don't want to be disrespectful, but they're not the highest class of people in the world.
They're gypsies.
No, you can't say that. Stop saying gypsy, man.
Why can't you say gypsy?
You gotta say the G word.
The G?
The G word.
G's, man. The G's are running the rides, you know, right? They're selling drugs. They're taking over town. The G's are in town. No, at our place where I lived growing up, the fair came to town 4 times a year. And yeah, all right, call them what you will. Travelers, carnies, gypsies, little fucking toe rags is what I'd call them. They'd come to town. They'd steal things. They'd start fights. They were always like, you know, they'd be like some greasy 23-year-old covered in oil and shit. And like the greasiest hair, hitting on all the girls, giving like, you know, 14-year-old cigarettes and trying to get them drunk and trying to get them backstage for a little bit of rumpy pumpy.
Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we called them in our hometown. They were the local Puerto Ricans.
I knew I'd seen you before.
We give them a whole parade here in New York City. Gypsy, a member of people that arrived in Europe in migrations from northern India around the 14th century, now also living in North America and Australia. I guess comedian Ben Miller has told FHM magazine that he's been battling with the BBC over the use of the word gypsy in a comedy sketch for his show with Alexander Armstrong, The Armstrong and the Miller Show. We're having a debate at the moment with the BBC over whether or not we can say gypsies, because they say gypsies is a racist term. And you think, yes, it is, But that's the point we're making. And we're making a show about, okay, we were more racist in the 70s than we are now. Okay, so yeah, this is considered a racist, and this is the BBC. This is basically the government in Great Britain, okay? So you can't disagree with the BBC, Mr. Bisping.
Well, in that case, I wholeheartedly apologize to any members of the traveling community. It was not meaning to cause any offense.
Nomadic,
okay?
nomadic class.
Yes, travelers. They like to call themselves travelers, the traveling community. And I know a lot of people from the traveling community. Where I'm from, there was a traveling community. That's what they call themselves.
Fucking homeless.
There was a lot. Yeah, the fucking weirdos robbing everything. Right? If you left anything out in the garden, the travelers would come and get it. If you had a bike, the travelers would take it. If you had an old oven, if you had anything, a transit van would roll along, and the travelers would jump out. They would take it and then sell it for scrap metal.
How would you feel if your daughter dated a traveler?
I mean, listen, no problems. I mean, love to one and all, each to their own. And if that's what she loves, as long as a good person treats her well, treats her with respect, I'd be all about it. As long as he washes the oil out of his fingers when he's done tinkering with the Dodgers, or whatever shitty fucking ride he's working on this week. Okay, one way only. But anyway, I was going to say, at Disneyland, I'm walking in and there's an earthquake. Of course, we've hyped up the Disneyland aspect of the trip, and then when we walk in, because there was an earthquake, all the rides are shut down. And it was literally about 105 degrees that day. It was boiling, and all the rides were shut. And when the rides did open, there was like a 4-hour wait. We waited in line for about 3 hours, I would say, for the fucking teacups. For the teacups. It was the worst day ever. Fucking
no, you can't do it.
Earthquakes.
I waited 45 minutes in line to go on It's a Small World. And then it's a 17-minute ride. It's the longest, most annoying, horrific fucking thing with little animatronic puppets that were made in the 30s or whatever the fuck the ride opened. It is awful. I remember my son just being like, this is terrible. Like, what are we doing here? So yeah, I don't recommend it. What do you have any fear of your kids going on rides like that? Because it makes you see a death like that and you go, shit, my kid's not going on a roller coaster. But I'm pretty sure your kid is more likely to die in a pool, more likely to die crossing the street or getting on an airplane or in a car. I'm assuming roller coaster and amusement park deaths have to be somewhat rare. Do we have a statistic on that?
Well, yeah, they've definitely got to be rare. Otherwise, people just wouldn't go on them. They wouldn't have the confidence. I saw on the news yesterday, and this is a bloody depressing episode. We're talking about kids dying, but
it's great.
Here's something I never thought of. It's macabre, doggy. A 9-year-old died. She got electrocuted in a swimming pool due to a faulty light. A faulty light with the wire became bare and fucking electrocuted a 9-year-old. I mean, Jesus Christ, you don't even think of these things. I mean, we have a swimming pool here at the Half Mansion. We have lights in the said pool. You know what I mean? You don't think for 1 second that fucking light is going to electrocute. But of course, we know water and electronics do not mix, but still you just take that for granted that everything's going to be fine. It's a very scary world we live in, Lewis.
I remember this happened a few years ago. The exact same thing happened. Faulty wire in a pool, little boy, maybe 7 years old, 5 years old, got electrocuted. Yeah, dude, there's no way to foresee something like that. But once again, it's like, it's such an accident. It's such a crazy little thing. Like, you have to check everything. There's no way, and you're a parent, you're playing that through your mind over and over again of everything you could have done differently, every little single thing. And it's like, you feel really, really bad for them. But you know what, man, you got to see if you're going to go night swimming.
You take the chances.
That's what are you going to do? I mean, what are you?
You're the fucking big shot swimming at night. Do you know what I mean? No one told you to. You could have been inside reading a book like a normal person, but no, you had to go fucking swimming. Should not joke about that. I'll tell you one that got me a couple of years ago was, again, it was a teenage girl, and I have a teenage daughter, obviously. She was in the bath with her iPhone plugged in charging, and she was looking at her phone in the bath, and she dropped the phone and went into the bath.
That wouldn't fucking electrocute you. No, impossible.
Check it on the fucking news. Google that shit. I'm telling you right now, it was on the news a couple of years ago. So then I was like, right, that's it. No iPhones in the bathroom. And I was running in there constantly, just double checking, saying, hey, Ellie, do not take that iPhone in the bath, okay? What, you think I'm lying? You think I just made that up?
We gotta fact check this, Dogster.
All right,
Bisping
Dogster.
he texted me last night, Dogster, and I was like, "Are you trying to fucking take my word and change it?"
Girl electrocuted. There's not a word you spell every day. Cuted in bath with iPhone. Okay. My wife, teen girl, dies after being electrocuted by iPhone in the bath. Now, this isn't something to celebrate.
Well, you are.
It is for me.
Bam, bam, bam. Michael Bisping said it best.
I'm so happy that girl died so I can prove you wrong. Jesus Christ. Definitely going to hell. Definitely going to hell.
That's it. Give her a Tibetan prayer bowl chime for her memory.
No, you're mocking.
No, I'm not. It's the opposite of the shame bell. We gave her a Tibetan prayer bowl chime. She's the Tibetan prayer bowl chime winner of the week. Good job,
but that was really shocking. All right, guys, today's show is brought to you by Wix. Wix is the best and easiest place to create a professional website. With Wix, you can start from scratch or choose from over 500 stunning templates. You can even build your own site using the Wix ADI, Artificial Design Intelligence. Just answer a few simple questions about you or your business, and Wix will create a stunning website for you. We built the BelieveYouMePod.com using Wix, and it was really, really easy to do. You can also check out past episodes of the podcast on there, or even pre-order my new book, Quitters Never Win, right on the site. So if you have a business or content that you want to promote, you need a professional website. You're missing out on potential clients and customers if you can only be contacted via social media. So get involved, get a professional website, and get it at a good deal. Go to BelieveYouMePod.com, click the link at the bottom for Wix, and Wix will give you 10% off any premium plan. So once more, join over 150 million people who have built their website using Wix. Go to BelieveYouMePod.com, click the link at the bottom to get 10% off any Wix premium plan. All right, before we bloody really alienate everybody with macabre stories and teenage deaths and children falling off rides, I think we should move on pretty quickly, Lewis.
No, I want some more. I want the entire episode to be macabre stories. I want dark shit. Once in a while, we don't have to talk about MMA. The fans like it when we don't talk about MMA sometimes. They want a macabre story.
But you want a macabre story, fighting a world title fight and tearing your ACL, PCL, and MCL. I mean, that's a macabre story. You know who that happened to? Thiago Santos in a fight against John Jones, tore every ligament in his knee, but still went on to fight 5 rounds. Man, that guy's a warrior. That guy's an animal. That guy has a high pain threshold, whatever you want to call it. That's pretty fucking outstanding.
Yeah, got to give him some respect. But, you know, what do you expect him to do? Just roll around on the floor holding his knee? He's a fighter. That's like,
sorry, I just saw a text message there that totally blew my mind. I can't go into it, but I'm very annoyed.
Say it.
No, I can't. It was a business partner. Doesn't it concern the believers? Doesn't concern you. It's very annoying, though. It's very annoying. I did something nice for somebody, and it's coming back and blowing up in my face.
Are you starting another podcast without me? Because I feel like this is a little weird that you don't tell me what it is. Usually you just tell me.
I'll tell you off the fucking air. It's private, doggy. Simple as that. Right. Are we into the MMA, as they call it?
Oh,
the MMA?
Sure we can.
Yeah.
What's the big story?
Well, Thiago Santos, obviously, when he fought John Jones, what was that, a couple of weeks ago now? Almost a couple of weeks ago. The commentators made a big deal out of the fact that his knee kept giving way. And they were, assuming perhaps he torn an ACL or something like that. And his knee was visibly giving way. And it looked bad. Although me and Chael did kind of, we were joking when we said it. We were like, what, have the fucking commentators got X-ray vision? How do they know he's torn an ACL? He's still fighting. You'd be in a lot more pain than that. But it turns out they were right, because apparently he tore his ACL, his MCL, his PCL, and his meniscus in the first round, which is, and then still went on to fight 5 rounds in a fight that a lot of people actually thought Santos won. The fact that he did that is pretty goddamn incredible. I remember I tore my PCL right before my Ultimate Fighter 3 finale. And yeah, that sucked. That was really painful. So for him to fucking do 4 and his meniscus, that's pretty crazy, Lewis.
I also read, Mike, he had secret surgery maybe like 3 months before the Jones fight due to a tear that he suffered knocking out Jan Blachowicz. So he had a knee surgery into this.
Wow.
And then...
I mean, look, it's that it's a nasty, nasty game. I mean, you hear about that many injuries to a knee. If you're his teammate, do you go like, fuck, dude, that's going to be really, really difficult to come back from? Because once you start getting surgeries, doesn't that sort of open the door to create other problems?
I don't necessarily know about that. It depends on the person. I mean, you see someone like Dominic Cruz that's just been plagued with injuries throughout his entire career. I don't think that's necessarily a rule set in stone. But listen, once you tear your ACL, MCL, PCL, and your meniscus, I mean, that basically means your knee's destroyed and they're having to completely rebuild it. I mean, I'm no surgeon and I'm no expert on the matter, but that is like, it seems like all the ligaments and the meniscus all torn. I mean, that's one hell of a recovery. And yeah, potentially down the line, I mean, you got to think that they're going to be weaker. You would have to think that, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they come back stronger if they're done correctly. But still, all right, well, there's not much more to say on that other than good luck. The guy's a warrior for continuing to fight, and he gave a good account of himself, and rest up and get better.
Yeah.
Next on the docket, this is a big one. Justin Gaethje versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone set for UFC Vancouver main event, which is when did he last fight Harrington? When was that? It was Ottawa, I believe, against
Tony Ferguson.
Tony Ferguson. Yeah. When was that?
I want to say it was about 6 weeks ago. Let me double check that.
Yeah, this fight's awesome. It's I'm sure for Cowboy, Cowboy just wants to fight. I don't think he really gives a shit, but I think secretly behind closed doors, if you were to ask Cowboy, how he feels about it, kind of getting the taste and the attention of possibly getting a big Conor McGregor fight. I'm sure kind of just a little bit fucking salty, and Justin Gaethje is awesome. And Conor McGregor, I'm sure, has got a very lucrative contract with the UFC, but that Conor fight was like right there. It seemed all but done, but I think I guess Conor now has turned down that fight a few times. They kept on coming back and trying to make that fight. From a fan's perspective, just a like balls to the wall, holy shit, you want to see a matchup, Gaethje versus Cowboy is probably as good as it gets.
Oh, no, it really is. But the thing is, I mean, I'm just looking at Cerrone's record here. You have to respect Donald Cerrone. If there's anyone in there in the fight game, a fan, whatever it is, that doesn't respect Cerrone, they don't like fighting, because the man fights all the time, puts on amazing performances, excites the fans, and will take on all comers. I mean, I'm looking at his record. This is going back to January 2017. Lost to Masvidal, fought Robbie Lawler, fought Darren Till, Yancy Medeiros, Leon Edwards, who fights in the main event against Dos Anjos this weekend, Mike Perry, Alexander Hernandez, which not a big name, but trust me, the man was undefeated and he looked like a young wrecking machine, Al Quinta, and then Tony Ferguson. I mean, Jesus Christ, taking on all comers there. And now here he is again, a fast turnaround after a tough loss against Tony Ferguson, against who was it again? Who's he fighting? Sorry, my mind went.
Justin Gaethje.
Justin Gaethje, pardon me. And Justin Gaethje is no walk in the park for fucking anybody. So, first of all, well done to Donald Cerrone. And secondly, that is an incredible fight. Can't wait to see that main event in Vancouver. I hope I'm there for that one. What else, baby boy?
Well, I guess Dana White, he said very conveniently that Conor McGregor is too small for 170. It wouldn't be a good opponent for Masvidal. Yeah, goddamn right he wouldn't. Nobody on Conor McGregor's team wants that fight.
Yeah, because I mean, I mean, Masvidal goes out, knocks out. Who did he knock out? Darren Till. Knocks out Darren Till savagely, then knocks out Ben Askren. Yeah, I don't think anyone's lining up to fight Masvidal right now if they haven't got a lot to gain from that. And to be honest, it would be Masvidal gaining from that because he's going to get the big payday, and Conor obviously in a tough position, lost to Khabib, lost to Mayweather before that. He needs a fucking win. He needs to come back and get
easy peasy win. He needs to fucking come back and just somebody, who is...
He needs a win. He can't come back and get knocked out against George Masvidal, okay? That is not good for business. It's not good for the UFC. It's not good for McGregor Sports Entertainment. It's not good for anyone other than Masvidal,
I guess.
Which is...
I was going to say Dana said that he's also not getting a UFC lightweight title shot upon his return to the cage.
Well, that makes sense, to be honest. He lost his last one. He lost pretty convincingly against Khabib. So that's the right thing. It is the right thing. I mean, Poirier versus Khabib, that's happening, I don't know, a couple of months or so, a month away, 6 weeks, whatever it is.
I just
they're
don't
going to
buy
need a
that.
challenger.
I don't buy it.
You don't
wholly.
buy it?
No. I think if Conor really wanted a lightweight title shot, they would just give it to him. And I actually don't even have a problem with that. He's one of the biggest names in the sport. What he's done in the sport and for the sport, you want to put him in a title fight. You want to get as many eyes on it as possible. The peripheral benefits of having Conor McGregor on any given card is the extra casual fans that are going to be exposed to the sport. And once again, as I've said again and again and again, we've seen much, much crazier things happen. It's not out of character for the UFC to set up a big money matchup. Having him, I think. The reality is Poirier wins that fight, we're going to see Conor versus Poirier and Conor's comeback. If Khabib wins that fight, we're going to probably see Conor BJ Penn, maybe Conor Mickey Gall. Nice, not disparaging Conor or BJ or Mickey, but I think he's going to be looking for a little bit more of less of an uphill battle.
Here's what's going to happen. UFC are hoping that Diaz beats Anthony Pettis in August next month, and then they're going to do Diaz Conor 3. Mm-hmm. That's what they're going to do. That's what I do. It's a winnable fight for Conor. It's a winnable fight for Diaz. They're 1-1 each. They set records with those pay-per-views at the time. Everyone wants to see that. If Diaz can come back and he can win that fight against Pettis, that's the fight to make, in my opinion.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, and to be honest with you, that's probably like a backdoor handshake deal that's been talked about already. It's like they want to make that fight. When you consider the absolute biggest fight possible, that's it. Rematches sell, just in general. I remember years ago, I was doing I was pitching a show, and it was MMA related. And part of the concept I wanted to articulate that grudge matches and real rivalries are what sells, and we started looking at the analysis of the biggest pay-per-views of all time, and this is years ago. I'm sure maybe it's changed a little bit, but every single one of the biggest pay-per-views in UFC history were rematches. They were huge grudge matches. It was like Chuck Liddell Tito, Chuck Randy, Tim Sylvia versus Andrei Arlovsky. It was like every single one of them was Frank Mir versus Brock Lesnar. All of them, and the first ones always did well because you have a star like Brock Lesnar or a star like Chuck or Tito or whoever, but then the rematch would sell twice as many because people were like, holy shit, we have this data, this story is here. People were used to Hollywood. We want a good guy, a bad guy, we want a storyline, we want to have a resolution at the end of it. So that rematch is just a sequel, and everyone loves a sequel.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, everyone's waiting to see also the Jones and Cormier trilogy play out and how that is going to play out. I'm just looking for I was looking for the worst rematches at box office history, but I couldn't find anything. No, you're right. I agree. And Diaz versus McGregor, everyone knows that's going to sell. And then if Conor gets past him, then they give him the title shot. That's the way to do it, because then the UFC saves credibility. They don't give him, a title fight straight away after losing a previous title fight, because, in the sports way of things, the way sports goes, that doesn't make sense. But he goes away, he beats the top guy like Diaz, then all of a sudden the public buys it. So I think that's the route to the title shot for McGregor. What else we got? Talking of Khabib, and talking of McGregor, and talking of people like that, and Floyd Mayweather. Harrington, what's going on here? You said on the notes something here that Khabib's manager, who is Ali, who I was speaking with last night, who's arranging George Masvidal to be a guest on the show next week, so that'll be fun. And also we're going to have Henry Cejudo as a guest on the show, so that's going to be great. So thank you, Ali. So Khabib, Harrington, would you like to clarify point number 4 on the notes, please?
Well, that's really all the clarification that I have. Ali went on Twitter and basically said Floyd Mayweather is hitting him up weekly for a boxing match against Khabib. He claims that Floyd has blown all of his money, and he's looking for this money fight with Khabib. Khabib is not currently interested in the fight.
Yeah. I don't know what to, I don't buy anything. I don't buy any of that story. I don't know Ali, and I feel bad, and I don't want to ruin the fact that we're supposed to have his clients on next week, but I don't buy a fucking word of that story.
I don't buy a single fucking word of it either, on multiple levels. I mean, Khabib wanted the fight with Mayweather, did he not? I mean, maybe Ali can clear this up, but last I saw it was Khabib saying, come on, let's do this. So, that's kind of against the flow of the knowledge that we know. Also, I fail to see how Mayweather's broke. I really do. I mean, the guy's made so much money. The McGregor fight was massive, but never mind that. Before that, he had these massive blockbusters against De La Hoya, against Pacquiao, against Canelo. I mean, the list goes on. Massive fights, hundreds, if not billions of dollars. You know, I really fail to see how the man is broke. But who knows?
I feel like Ali is using a good old trick that I use on my 6-year-old, which is called reverse psychology. And he's just going like, oh, we don't even want the fight. Yeah, you know what? He's just coming to us. Okay, we'll see. First of all, McGregor would hit Khabib in the head 100 times before Khabib could even think about a jab. I'm not.
Sorry. You mean Mayweather?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Mayweather would he would just light him up. He would light him up so fucking badly. And I know people are like, oh, well, Khabib dropped Conor. It's like, dude, yeah, he dropped Conor when Conor's worried about Khabib dumping him on his fucking head. It's a way different thing. If these guys just fought with their hands, it would be an embarrassment. What Mayweather would do to Khabib, it's fucking, I mean, you know fighting better than anybody. You know striking. I mean, what are we talking about here? Have we seen anything in Khabib's striking that would make you go, oh, he could actually go have a competitive boxing match with Floyd Mayweather?
No, we haven't seen that. But I tell you what I have seen, a very tough, durable, athletic, cardio gifted fighter that I believe could at least go the distance. I don't think Mayweather would finish him. I really don't. I don't think he would. I think Khabib could take it.
Nobody agrees with you. And all the fans are going to go, oh, that was the fucking idiot. Michael knows what you're talking about. This is psychotic behavior right now. This sentence you just said is fucking crazy. He would not go the distance with Floyd Mayweather. I don't care that you're the fighter. I'm sick of it. I will not give you this one. There's no fucking way that it goes the different. Dude, let me tell you something.
Stop. Several things to say before you continue. Number one, that's fine, and I'm sitting here, and that's what we do. We debate, we talk, we chat. But Harrington, get a fucking grip of yourself, man. I hear you howling in the background in glee that yes, Lewis, that's right. Stick it to him. Put him in his place. Make him look stupid. The revelry, the joy that he is getting out of hearing you say that is out of control, Harrington.
I just can't.
I agree with you, Mike.
I can't. You're right. Harrington is way too into this right now. I think it's not even that Harrington likes. He doesn't like me getting over on you. What he likes is he likes drama. Harrington's a fat Reddit troll. That's what he is in like real life. He's that fucking kid who's on the internet picking boogers out of his beard and eating Cheetos, going on Reddit and trying to drum up interest, seeding ideas. He's a troll. That's what Harrington is. So in real life, he's getting to watch it happen, and he gets a boyish glee out of it. So that's what you're listening to.
Yeah, no, for sure. But anyway, back to what I said. Mayweather's not a finisher, okay? Now, he did knock out Ricky Hatton. He has stopped some people. I think he could stop Khabib with body shots, you know. But yeah, Khabib's tough, man. You don't get to 27-0, whatever it is, unless you can take a punch. You can take a punch all day. I reckon he could go 12 rounds with Khabib. With Mayweather. I don't think he'd win. I think he'd get outpointed pretty badly. I reckon he'd struggle to land the glove. But I reckon he'd go 12 rounds.
No, I don't even think he would go. I don't think he would get us out of 5. I don't think that he has the I don't understand. When I look at Khabib's strike, it's really short arms too. What is his reach like? He's got these little short arms, and it's sort of just kind of like, it's just not like impressive striking. I mean, he's landed a couple shots. He's got nasty ground and pound. If Khabib was smart, what he would do is he would, as soon as the bell rang, he would shoot in for a double, pick up, this is a boxing match, pick up Mayweather, slam him on his head, and start ground and pounding him, and have the ref pull him off and just get disqualified, and then just have the video clip of him slamming Mayweather to his death, and go, all right, I lose. DQ. Done.
Yeah, well, that's what everyone said about Conor, and said, oh, he's probably just going to do that, and then he has that forever. But all right, well, listen, we agree to disagree. And the thing is, we're never going to see this. I don't think we're going to see it. I mean, the UFC allowed Conor to do that. I think that was a one-off. And again, I don't know the ins and outs of the contracts, but I think there was a financial incentive for the UFC to do it as well. I think they had a piece of the pie as a kind of a co-promoter. I don't think they're going to get into the habit of doing that regularly. And if they did it once with Conor, if they do it with Khabib, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, money talks. And if there's enough of it being discussed or considered, then, yeah, it may get their attention. But I don't see the UFC going down that avenue once again.
I think that, Mayweather also, it's not just the money, obviously that's a big part of it, but I think that the money is almost to become that athletic and that successful and get that good. He's not going, I got to count that money. No, he's competitive. He's like a fucking real winner, right? You got to have that real winner type of spirit and that mentality. I would love to see Mayweather come in and train for an actual mixed martial arts event. We saw James Toney years ago get fucking decimated by Randy Couture, but it was the worst matchup in the world for James Toney. They gave him the worst fucking matchup. It was a joke. They were just trying to get over. The UFC knew what they were doing. They were like, yeah, watch this. Watch what Randy Couture is going to fucking do to this guy. And it was amazing. Watching that was so much fun. It was one of the happiest I've ever been watching MMA in my entire life, was watching James Toney just drowning underneath Randy Couture as Randy just spanked him.
Yeah, but Khabib isn't going to, Mayweather isn't going to fight MMA. I mean, that's not even on the table. They're talking about a boxing match. And Mayweather knows his strengths and weaknesses. And you're right, you're talking about a guy here when you're talking about his competitive edge. I mean, that's incredible. People don't understand. I think he was Olympic gold medalist as well as an amateur. Then he turns professional, 50-0, which is just unbelievable. You don't get there unless you're a special type of person, a special type of work ethic. I mean, that man is up running at 4 o'clock in the morning. That was his thing, with his whole team behind him, running the streets of Las Vegas, in the middle of the fucking night. Insane work ethic, doesn't drink alcohol, looks after his body. There's a reason why he's classed as the greatest ever, why he's earned $1 billion, and why he's 50-0. It's a special type of human being. I still think Khabib goes the distance, though.
That same work ethic, though, can really, in a very tangible and easy way, be translated to mixed martial arts. Mayweather, he would train with the absolute best coaches in the world. If he didn't do what James Toney did, which is James Toney was like, oh, I'm going to just box. I'm not going to wrestle. I'm not going to do anything. But if Mayweather wanted to, and I know this is just a fantasy, but no more of a fantasy in my mind than Khabib fighting him in a boxing match. That's psychotic. I would love to see what Floyd Money Mayweather could do with a year of training MMA, a year of training wrestling, a year of training jiu-jitsu.
Stop. A year would do nothing. A year does nothing. A year would be like me fighting you with no fucking hands, okay? It's still going to be a win.
Baby boy.
It's still going to be a win.
If you agree to hands tied behind your back, you're fucking dead. You could not hands out here because I don't trust you. You're a shady motherfucker. If you have hands out here, oh, I slipped, oops, and then you drop a big old fucking right on my jaw. It ain't happening, baby boy. Hands tied behind your back.
Hold on. Not hands tied behind my back.
Yep.
Hands tied in front. At least I can. The mobility of my shoulders is pretty bad. Just doing that right now is not good. My shoulders are so swollen tight. I mean, I got to stretch more because I've been lifting and pumping so much iron. That is painful. Hands tied behind back will be even more painful. And then I've got to move around and use my finesse, my kicks, my repertoire.
The problem
in front, I could do this. I can move about. I can balance myself a little bit.
That's not about the balance. My concern is that you're going to be able to block my strikes way easier. And if you can block my strikes, I'm going to have no chance. No chance at all.
Hold on. By strikes, are you talking to those like fumbled windmill fucking throwing shots that you look like you're having a bad dream as a child?
All right, so I guess
is that what you're referring to? When you say shots, you mean that? Is that what you mean?
I guess you shouldn't have to worry about it. You can just put those hands behind your back and see what happens. Happens.
Just don't be a pussy. No. Don't make me tie them together. I'll give you my word.
Left hook Lewis.
Listen, if you need to throw a kick, you have to counteract. You have to balance. I mean, you wouldn't know about this. You wouldn't know about the finer point of technique, okay? You can't just have your hands tied behind your back and throw with perfect technique, Lewis, okay? You have to counteract. You have to balance yourself. You have to use your arms as a counterbalance, okay? So, get with it, doggy. Anyway, Mayweather is never, ever, ever going to fight mixed martial arts. So I don't know how you got onto that. We're talking about Khabib fighting him in boxing. That's never going to happen either. But if it does, I'd love to see it. It'd be interesting, but I very, very much doubt it. All right, let's just take a quick second to hear from a new sponsor of ours, which is Whoop. That's right, WHOOP. Whoop. We are very excited to have Whoop on board, and to be honest, the perfect fit for the show. Whoop is a performance-enhancing tool, right? And it changes the way that you track your fitness, okay? You go to the gym, you never know how hard to push. You don't know how long you should rest, all these types of things. Well, Whoop takes care of that. It's a heart rate monitor for your wrist that connects to their app and gives you the absolute best analytics and insight into your recovery, training, and sleep. After every workout, Whoop will give you a strain score that lets you know how hard you pushed your body, how strenuous your workout was on your body, and you'll get training tips based on your body's recovery time to take the guesswork out of how hard to push your body for optimal training. With Whoop, you will get daily updates on your body needs, whether it needs to rest or whether you're ready to get back into training. So listen, as I said, you kind of guess, all this stuff, how hard should I push? You might read an article online. Well, this takes all of that out of that. Takes the guesswork out. It'll tell you when to go, how hard you're pushing. Maybe you need to push yourself a little bit more. Maybe you need to push yourself a little bit less. Maybe you're overtraining. Maybe you're resting too long in between sets. This will take all of that out of there. And also a cool feature is that Whoop has a built-in sleep coach. By wearing the strap at night, Whoop Sleep Coach will analyze your sleep cycles, your sleep quality, consistency, and provide optimal sleep times based on how strenuous your day was. And let me tell you, sleep is one of the most important factors. When I was training for a fight, if I got a bad night's sleep, my God, the next day my performance sucked. I didn't put in the effort I needed to. My mental focus just wasn't there. So sleep is massive, and this will really, really help you with that. The new Whoop Strap 3.0 can last 5 days without needing a charge either. So, that's very, very convenient. So you're going to get a ton of incredible analytics and tips to help you optimize your performance. It's going to help you train smarter, better, faster, more intelligently, help you with your sleep. So if you want to take your training to the next level, go to whoop.com and use the promo code BELIEVE. You're going to get 15% off a 12 or 18-month membership. That's Whoop, WHOOP.com. And the promo code is BELIEVE for 15% off a 12 or 18-month membership. You're welcome. All right, let's get back into it. What else? I see some... Abel Trujillo has been involved in some controversy, some scandal, or some criminal investigations. Would you care to explain this to us, Harrington?
Harrington, you exploit minors regularly. Can you elaborate? What are you saying?
This.
Sorry, I was checking out questions for later in the show.
What are you so depressed for today?
I'm not depressed at all.
Just fucking be happy and upbeat. We're doing a goddamn podcast. The fans listen to it because we project an energy onto them. We're not, I don't really know. Like Eeyore. Remember Eeyore from fucking Winnie the Pooh? That's his energy today.
Yes, he is Eeyore. From now on, Eeyore. That's what we're calling him.
When have I ever not been happy to see either one of you guys? One time.
I wrote the notes.
All right.
I sent them to you guys.
He's trying to make me cry. Fuck him.
He's trying to make me cry. Fuck him.
That's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Anyway, Harrington, Abel Trujillo, what is going on? What has happened?
Turns out he's just kind of, what he's accused of is certainly pretty monstrous. He was nabbed up, I believe it was in Florida. He's being sent to Colorado for a hearing about, touching some kids. And he also has a number of issues beforehand. Kind of not a nice guy.
What do you mean touching kids? What ages and to what extent?
Let me keep looking this up.
He was arrested May 24th after a warrant for his arrest in Colorado, defined as possessing, producing, or distributing sexually explicit material involving a child under 18. Oh, so it was child porn, or he actually who won 15 fights and last fought against John McDessie.
Listen, I don't care. Normally you say there's no smoke without fire, or these are alleged and all the rest of it. And they are alleged, and I don't know if he's been charged, but still, I have very, very, very limited patience and understanding when it comes to child pornography and things like that. You know what I mean? If that shit's on your computer, there's a very good fucking reason why. It shouldn't be on your computer, okay? Unless he's got some fucking miraculous excuse, he deserves everything that's coming to him.
Yeah, he could have produced it as well. I have no idea. There's no more details on it besides that, Harrington, because his other two charges come from 2017 domestic abuse and domestic abuse assault in 2009. kind of a shitty dude overall, allegedly. But also a handsome guy. Very handsome fucking guy. Look at him.
Whoa.
Because it's a
what a weird segue, right? We're talking about him potentially molesting children, filming children, distributing child porn, and then from there you go into his looks. You're like, what a handsome guy.
Look, I'm looking at it from
tread carefully.
I'm looking at it from my perspective, which is that if I'm going to get molested by a man, it's better than Tank Abbott. You know, if you, I don't want it to happen either way. But this is a fuck. Look at him. Look at these abs right here. So,
dogster, we don't do this. We will push the envelope. We will push the boundaries. We will teeter on the edge. Okay, but we will not go there. We will not make lives of children suffering.
We're not, and we don't know. I have no idea what even happened. We don't know the rules of it. But
maybe they fucking loved it. We should go there.
I can't.
You're setting me up.
You can't help yourself. You can't help yourself.
No,
that's who you are at your core. Don't try to change you. That's why the fans love you.
I'm not trying to change you. I'm just saying certain things are not. Some certain things are off limits, and that's off limits, and he should be off limits. And if he's guilty, burn in hell. If he's innocent and it's a whole big mix-up, then he has my sympathy, because what a disgusting thing to have associated with your name.
Yeah, it really is. And yeah. Wait, what happened, Harrington?
So I have the exact definition of the crime. Sexual exploitation of children is a specific federal crime that relates to the production of child pornography. Any individual who makes at least an effort to involve or persuade a minor into the production of making child porn is guilty of committing an unlawful act under federal standards. It carries up to 18 months in jail and $100,000 per offense.
That's it? 18 months?
Yeah.
18 months. So you're involved in the production of child porn and you get 18 months in prison. Whoever does that shit should burn in fucking hell, right? Lock me in a dark room with them for 5 minutes and they will never get out again. 18 months. That's insane.
If you're a pedophile, it's worth it.
It's not worth it.
If that's what you're into, 18 months in prison is nothing.
Well, it's not really a scare tactic, is it? You know, there's a good chance I might get away with it, and at worst, you're going to get 18 months. You know, good behavior, you'll be out in 6. It's fucking ridiculous. It really is. And then there's innocent people getting locked up for having, you know, recreational drugs or whatever, you know.
Does that mean, all right, benefit of the doubt, does that also mean if he was trying to get a 17-year-old girl to send him titty pictures, like soliciting her, would that fall under that category?
What defines a child? Is it under 18? Is that what defines
That's what it said in his charge. In his charge, it said somebody under 18, because I guess it depends on the statute, or not the statute of limitations, but the jurisdiction where it's at.
Yeah.
So yeah, this says specifically under 18.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's insane. I mean, isn't it weird? We see the same thing in England. You know, horrific crimes like this, and the penalties aren't very bad. But yet, you know, tax evasion or something, they really throw the book at you. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's
fuck with the government's
insane.
money. You fuck with Uncle Sam, baby boy. Shit.
Yeah.
Do you see the one chick, the hot chick in Arizona? You can even pull up her picture. She was just convicted of 20 years for having sex with her 13-year-old student. 20 years in prison this girl's going to. And it's
20 years.
It's fucked up. I hate to say it, but here's a double standard that I'm just going like, you know.
100%.
He's the kid's awesome. South Park nailed it. I mean, dude, that kid is fucking the man. He's high-fiving his friends. His dad's asking to smell his fingers. That kid is now the confidence of a man.
Please, I was with you. Please, you don't have to go to the levels of crudeness that you do sometimes. It's tacky. But you're right. I mean, listen, you know, is she hot? I mean, what does she look like, this woman? How old is she?
Kind of looks like Shannon.
Oh, look at that.
A hotter Shannon.
Yeah, look at her. I mean, she's not a bad-looking girl at all. So ex-teacher blames student she sexually abused. So she's claiming that he seduced her. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I mean, 20 fucking years. The poor woman. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? It's messed up. It's messed up.
The poor woman.
No. Yeah, I'm telling you. Listen, she should not be having sex with a 13-year-old boy. That's a fact, and that's messed up, and it's definitely weird, and she definitely needs to lose her job, right, and be punished. But 20 fucking years.
I mean, give her 18
Jesus
months.
Christ. I guarantee that kid is a legend in that school. Do you know what I mean? He tells the story to this day. He's going to be dining out on that one for 20 years.
You know what really sucks is her husband.
By the time she gets out of prison, he'll have finished telling the story at dinner. Go on, her husband.
Well, her husband, like, how embarrassing is it for him? Imagine you catch your wife cheating. But not only do you catch your wife cheating, you catch her cheating with a fucking child. A child in the neighborhood. A 13-year-old boy.
A 13-year-old boy. That's who you chose to cheat. Why was she married?
She was married. I think she was married to like a fucking police sergeant or something like that. It was crazy. He's just a laughing stock of the police force. They all had to go arrest her. He had to like come into work and like everybody knows it's a fucking nightmare.
I find it embarrassing.
It's a nightmare for all parties.
Do you think the fact that she was married to a police officer that was a sergeant, did you say?
I believe
that had
so.
something to do with her getting 20 years, because that's, I mean, listen, it's wrong. And it does work both ways. That is sexual abuse, statutory rape, whatever you want to call it. But 20 fucking years, doggy, that's insane.
That's a long time. And, you know, look, she's got a sickness, obviously. There's a bug that's inside of these people that they prey on young, innocent people, and that's what turns them on, is actually preying on these people and the deviancy of doing something that's so taboo that they're not supposed to. It's fucked up. But at the same time, it's like you have to sort of look at the way men and women are built and the way we're wired. And it's like, this boy, I don't believe is damaged for any long term. Like, it is different. I think a little girl would be a 13-year-old girl and a teacher. You know, it is what it is.
There was a teacher at my school. I would have loved it if she raped me.
Oh my God. How cool would that be?
Yeah, no, there's the games teacher at school. I forget her name now. She was good looking, you know. She could have raped me any day. But yeah, the poor kid, he went through such suffering, and so we shouldn't make light of it, Lewis. The poor kid.
Well, here I'll tell you one factor.
Who's 20 years old?
I'll tell you one factor that does make it even creepier. Is apparently she convinced another 11-year-old student at the school to watch them have sex.
Oh my God. All right. Okay. So this woman's clearly messed up.
She's
I'm thinking in my mind that maybe she's just like, you know, this kid looked like 16 on a good day. He had a good game. He wore a leather jacket. He was captain of the football team.
Smoking cigarettes.
He was smoking cigarettes, beat anyone in a fight, you know, and fucking this guy's like super mature and smart as fuck. And like, she just got subdued and sucked in by his presence. And she's like, you know what? Fuck it, call me stupid. I'm in love with this kid. But no, she's a fucking sick, twisted bitch. She's inviting 11-year-olds in. Jesus Christ.
By the way,
send her away, lock her up, throw away the key. She's a psycho.
What you described. Thank you. What you described is what I imagine 13-year-old Michael Bisping is. Just fucking a pack of cigarettes rolled up in his sleeve. Just ready to fight anybody.
13-year-old Michael Bisping was nowhere near as cool as what you think. 13-year-old Michael Bisping was a dork.
How old were you when you lost your virginity, if you don't mind me asking? Is that too crude? The new Michael Bisping doesn't want crude jokes, so we got to really...
No, we don't want crude jokes. 16.
How old was the guy?
Look what you did there. See what you did. You implied that I was homosexual. That's really good. Top drawer stuff. I mean,
no problem with that.
For a stand-up comic, that was great. That was fucking great.
I'll be here all night.
I mean, you write your own material, Lewis?
No, actually, Harrington sent me that one, but I thought it was so good that I was like, you know what? I'll say it.
Hey, here's something that we never spoke about, changing gears. Henry Cejudo saying, who's going to join us on the show as well. Thank you, Ali, by the way. I know we were busting your balls about the Mayweather stuff. Cejudo saying he wants to, and I get this. I kind of get it, but it's weird. He said he wants all the belts from 125 to 145. And that means the female belts as well. And I swear to God, I would love to see Cejudo versus Amanda Nunes.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this? But that's what he said. He said he's going after the female belts as well. Shevchenko, Nunes. Yeah, there's Nunes, yeah. How do you feel about that?
Well, I remember years ago, Rogan said that he thought that Ronda Rousey could beat a lot of the guys on the UFC roster. And then that became very apparent that I mean, just she would have gotten annihilated by almost, I believe literally any guy on the UFC roster, straight down to the 125-pounders, would be able to beat up any female on the UFC roster. So it doesn't have to be Henry Cejudo, who is the absolute best in two weight classes. It could be anybody. It could be anybody. Men and women, I don't give a fuck how tough this chick is. it's a different game. It's a different level of strength. It's a different level of speed. Men are used to compete, especially when you guys are high-level athletes. You're used to competing against other men who are really strong and the type of resistance that they put against your body. It's a whole different game. And I think if you were to ask anybody who's trained with women, they would tell you, because I've rolled with women just in a jiu-jitsu class, I'm going 15% of my effort, and I'm destroying them. And I'm not good at jiu-jitsu at all.
Yeah. Well, no, you're right. You're not good at jiu-jitsu at all. But you might be rolling. You might be rolling with shitty jiu-jitsu practitioners. You know, some jiu-jitsu practitioners, male or female, are very, very good. Here's the exact quote from Cejudo. I'm taking everybody from 99 pounds to 149 pounds. And you know what? If Amanda Nunes wants to get it too, Valentina, whatever, I'm calling you guys out too, Cejudo told TMZ. I take no prisoners. I am such a gold digger. If she has gold, I want her gold too. Ooh. I mean, I like it. I mean, I'm not for a woman fighting a man or beating a man up. I like what he's saying, but I kind of want to see Nunes, because I think I put my money on Nunes in that fight.
Well,
I honestly would. I think I would put my money on Amanda Nunes in that fight.
He's just saying ridiculous things today. He's trolling us. Everyone listening, this is not the real Michael Bisping. This is an imposter. He's trying to fuck with everyone today. You don't really believe that Amanda Nunes beats Henry Cejudo. You don't believe that.
So Amanda Nunes knocks out Cyborg. Amanda Nunes knocks out Holly Holm.
Holly Holm.
He knocks out Holly Holm. Hello, everybody. Knocks out Amanda Nunes. And then knocks out Nunes, Holly Holm, Ronda Rousey, the fucking Misha Tate. The list goes on. She's a bad woman. You're telling me simply because she has a vagina, she could go out there and beat a man with a penis?
I'm saying that Henry Cejudo would beat Amanda Nunes within an inch of her life with ease. With ease. He could do anything that he wanted to her. It's not disparaging to Amanda Nunes. It's not. You know, we talked about the soccer team, the USA soccer team, wanting more money. They played like a fucking high school team of boys, and the high school team whooped their fucking ass. And they are the best. They are the World Cup champions. This high school team of just some fucking inner city kids just spanked them like 3-1. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Did that actually happen recently?
It did. It may have been better than a high school team. It may have been a college team, but it wasn't the fucking World Cup men's team. It was just some local yokel team that played them. And that's the difference. And it's not anti-feminism. It is just the sky is blue, the grass is green. Men are stronger than women physically.
Yes. You're right. I totally agree. And I always say that, don't I? I always say that. But the thing that you're missing, though, is in a soccer team, there isn't weight classes. So a men's soccer team, a women's soccer team, all the men are going to be way bigger, way stronger, way faster, kick a ball harder, all the rest of it. Fighting has weight classes. Henry Cejudo fights at 125. Amanda Nunes fights at 145 and 135. She's the same size, if not bigger. She's a bigger person. FC Dallas under 15 boys.
Under 15 boys?
The under 15 boys beat the US Olympic. Oh my God! It was that kid.
Freshman.
It was that kid getting abused by the teacher.
It was children. Michael Bisping. I mean, that's yes, you're right. It's not a perfect science, but I'm letting you know that the weight classes don't matter if you were to measure the impact of the strikes from Henry Cejudo. Also, forget it. Like I'm saying, any dude on the UFC roster destroys Amanda Nunes. I don't give. Literally, there's not a single man. CM Punk would kick Amanda Nunes' fucking head off her shoulders. I don't buy it. I'm not being an asshole here. It's not sexist. It's just a fact, okay? If you were to scientifically look at what Henry Cejudo can do, he would punch probably 5 times as strong as Amanda Nunes, and he's not even known as like a fucking crazy power puncher.
Well, listen, I mean, here's one small little stat that I've just looked at. I went to the Wikipedia pages. Harrington could be doing this if he was so inclined, but, you know, he's a bit of a sulky ass today. Henry Cejudo is 5'4". He's 5'4". Amanda Nunes is 5'8". Okay,
well, there you have
I'm not saying she's thick. I'm not saying she's thick, but she's big. She's bigger. She's bigger than Henry Cejudo. And she has knockout power. I've seen Cyborg spar with men and dominate men. I've seen Cyborg in the gym rolling with men and beating men.
UFC
and I've
fighters.
seen Amanda Nunes go out there and punch Cyborg in the face and knock her flat on her face in 51 seconds.
UFC fighters. You've seen Cyborg dominate UFC caliber fighters in real sparring.
I never said that.
All right. All right, Paper Boy. Yes.
I've seen a fight men in the gym that were probably taking it easy and felt a bit weird because I'm sparring a woman and I can't really go hard. You know what I mean? It's like, fucking hell, what do I do? This bitch is teeing off on me. That's why I never spar with women. Yeah, I never spar with women. One, because I don't want to hurt them. And two, because they're like, oh, here we go. It's fucking World Cup day. You know, they're going to try and tee off with everything. And, you know, oh, yeah, good shot, good shot. Like, hold on, what if I just go bang? What if I just unleash for a split second and she's got a broken nose and she's like, and everyone's like, what are you doing, Mike? It's a fucking woman. I'm like, yeah, well, she hit me in the face. Do you know what I mean? So you can't really go hard. So I always stayed away from women, certainly when doing jiu-jitsu as well, because that's just weird. Only a person that has no ability or belief in themselves would roll with a woman, Lewis. So there you go.
Right. I like to feel like a shark every once in a while. That's the only time.
No, there's some very, very good jiu-jitsu practitioners. I'm just saying, I reckon Cejudo, listen, and you know, of course I'm having fun with it. I'm having fun, and Cejudo would probably be. I'm just saying, Nunes would give him a fight. Nunes would give him a fight. Can you not at least give me that?
Nope.
Nunes wouldn't at least give Cejudo a fight.
No, I don't think she would even give him a fight. I think that if Cejudo came at her at 100% speed, that he would easily take her to the ground and start ground and pounding her with one hand. Within 8 seconds, she'd be a fucking bloody mess underneath him. I mean, I just don't think that she could stop that takedown and she could stop him getting on top of her. It just isn't going to happen. And Cejudo's used to fighting men, high caliber fucking men, and dominating them. It's not even like
Harrington. What is your opinion?
I mean, I can't agree more that any man, other than, maybe some of the smallest flyweights, would run through Amanda Nunes. I do think the fact that she is 5'8", though, would present some problems for Cejudo, at least initially. He would need to work his way inside with the striking, which might be a bit of a problem.
Punch her in the clit, just kept doing some boom, boom, boom.
Whoa,
I'm sorry. Edit.
What are we doing here? Jesus Christ, you know, low-hanging fruit every time. So, hold on. All right. Give me a UFC fighter, a man that you think Amanda Nunes could beat, in your opinion, because obviously she can't even... You think she could beat CM Punk?
I think she could beat CM Punk. I think CM Punk... I think that's but CM Punk is the only guy who's fought in the UFC in the past, 6-8 years that wasn't a UFC caliber fighter. Like now there's like a certain standard. They don't really do those freak show fights. You think of throughout the years, like Kimbo Slice wasn't really a UFC caliber fighter, but also he ended up proving everyone wrong. He was great. I love Kimbo. Sean Gannon, remember that was another, the Boston cop who fought Kimbo. He got a UFC shot. There's a bunch of like weird internet guys that they gave shots to throughout the years that didn't make much sense.
What about you, Lewis? What about you?
Amanda Nunes? No, Amanda Nunes would fuck me up. Yes, obviously. I'm not a fighter. I'm not a UFC caliber fighter. Henry Cejudo, he knocked out TJ Dillashaw in 32 seconds. I'm sorry. Amanda Nunes got no shot here.
In this day and age, Lewis, equal opportunities, fair pay. No, I'm just saying you don't see a path to victory at all. At all, in any way, shape, or form.
Not really. I mean, yes, in a very literal standpoint of the way that I look at the world, from like a philosophical standpoint, yes, there's a path to victory. But we've argued this before. I believe there's a path. I believe if Harrington wanted to have $1 million in his bank account 1 year from today, there's a path to get there. He's not going to. She's not going to go down that path. But yes, is there, out of the billions of decisions she could make or the infinite amount of decisions she could make, yes, I guess she could figure it out.
I'm really curious to see that, though. I am curious to see what the best female fighter on the planet, and I think it's fair to say that Amanda Nunes is that by far, how she would cope with somebody like Henry Cejudo that makes 125. She's naturally a smaller person, 4 inches shorter, fights at a weight class 10 pounds lighter or about the same weight class, sometimes at 135. I'd be kind of interested to see that, not from a macabre viewpoint, not from a let's see a man beat up a woman. I'm just genuinely interested to see that. But anyway, that's not going to happen. It's never, ever, ever going to happen. Today's episode is brought to you by Ace Marks. If you need dress shoes or stylish sneakers, then you really got to check out acemarks.com. I know what you're thinking. I've never heard of Ace Marks. Let me tell you, personally, these are fantastic. They are stylish. They are high quality, and they are very, very comfortable. When I commentate, I wear a nice suit with a pair of smart shoes / sneakers / trainers, and they look really, really good. Handcrafted in Italy from premium leathers. They have memory foam, cushioned insoles, which mold to your feet for all-day comfort, and all of their shoes are flexible and light, perfect for walking, going out a date, or looking professional when you're commentating a UFC event. So listen, go to acemarks.com, take a look. You will be very, very impressed with the shoes that you see on there, the designs. They have a taste for everybody. And let me tell you, the quality is fantastic, okay? They are very, very comfortable, and they look great, right, okay? Who cares about they're not Prada or Gucci or some name you haven't heard of? I'm telling you right now, I stand by them. They're very, very comfortable. They're high quality, and they're fucking awesome, okay? They look awesome. So go to acemarks.com to find the right shoe for you, and if you use the code BELIEVE, you'll get 10% off your order. Ace Marks, ACEMARKS, acemarks.com, promo code BELIEVE, 10% off. Looking smart, feeling comfortable, feeling great and confident. Okay, let's get back to the show. What else we got? We have Cain Velasquez, who's gone over to professional wrestling now. Did you see that? I saw a little thing he put on Instagram yesterday. I mean, the thing is, I love Cain Velasquez. I'm such a massive fan of his. It was a shame to see what happened with him and Francis Ngannou. I was really looking forward to a good fight. He's an absolute killer. He's a stoic man. He's a man of few words, and that's what I don't understand about professional wrestling. I mean, is there some characters in wrestling that don't really talk much? Because wrestling, you got to sell the fight, or is he just going to come in and just like be that dark, moody type?
Well, Dan Severn had a very successful career in pro wrestling, and Dan Severn was never a mouthpiece on the mic. It was the angle there was that he was one of the baddest men on the planet. Ken Shamrock actually was a good pro wrestler. I don't remember if his wrestling was good, but he leaned into that character. He was also juiced to the fucking gills when he was so jacked and muscly, and it really made sense. We watch Ronda do it, but Ronda's fairly. I don't think Ronda's that charismatic. I think we pretend that she is.
Who is this? He's teamed up with like this psycho clown or something, killer clown. Do you know who this is, Harrington Lewis?
Yeah,
this is what he's talking about. I mean, what kind of league are we talking here? Is it WWE? What is it?
So basically, a year or so ago, this guy left WWE. He got some investors from overseas, some guys who own other football teams, and they went in on a promotion. And they're using Cain Velasquez to expand into Mexico with this promotion. So Cain is like the guy on their team as like the ambassador to the Mexican people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, good. Well. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. Listen, I'm all happy when I see people finding a second career after the UFC. So hold on. So does that mean that Cain is done with MMA? Has he mentioned anything like that, Harrington? Because that's a real shame. I mean, I understand because he seems to have a tough time, staying injury-free. But did he mention anything like that?
No announcements about retiring from MMA, no.
And also, wrestling is so... I did a little bit of, for the me and Harrington fight... if you saw the end of it, we did a whole pro wrestling thing, and the guys from Capital Wrestling, which is a really cool promotion, we worked out a thing where their guy came in and he fucking fucked me up, but I had to go and train for that. I had to go and learn how to take a bump and learn the secrets of the trade and how to move, and it is way tougher than people give it credit for. Way, way, way tougher, because what you're doing to your body, and you know this if you do judo, the way you have to learn how to fall in a certain way. Go do a judo class the first day you do it. Your body's really banged up. You have to learn how to it's a break fall. And I think that in pro wrestling, the way that what they put their bodies through, it's very, very dangerous, and it really does do a lot of wear and tear on your body. It's like getting into a car crash every single night. And you see these guys, they get addicted to painkillers. They have very short shelf lives in terms of, they die very young. It's sort of a crazy thing to get into. So it's interesting that Cain, he's so prone to injuries. He's been out so many times. Now he's going to go get into something like pro wrestling, which, it's notorious that it takes years off your life.
You're talking about the Ukemi Waza. There is that we are referring to. I have no idea what you're talking about. Break falls. You're talking about every time you start in any kind of traditional martial arts, you'll learn what the Japanese refer to as the ukemi waza, which is quite literally the break falling techniques. You got the ushiro ukemi, which is the back break fall. You got the yoko ukemi, which is the side break fall. And they go on and so forth. Being a black belt in Japanese jiu-jitsu, you have to learn the Japanese terminology. So yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about with falling, but you're right. You do have to fall, and I know that wrestlers go through a tremendous toll on their body. They really do, which is weird because, as you just said, Cain has had so many injuries, and now he's going to go into this new sport, which is apparently, by all cases, kind of tougher on the body. But he hasn't said he's actually retired, so that's curious. Darren Till. We're just flying through the topics here.
Yeah, I have to run out in a few minutes, so you and Harrington can finish the questions. I got a couple more minutes left here. I got to go pick up my son in a little bit.
Yeah, no worries, bud. No worries. He said Darren Till seems to be hinting coming up to middleweight. I think that's the right move. I think having those massive weight cuts to get down to 170 affected his ability to take a shot of George Masvidal. Not taking anything away from Masvidal. Beautiful knockout. Had he have not dehydrated himself quite so much, he could have probably taken that shot better. What do you think?
And looking at Masvidal now that he's been knocking motherfuckers out, it's a little less surprising, a little less embarrassing, a little bit less, because Masvidal seems to be the dude right now. He's right there. So I think when that happened, it was like, oh shit, Masvidal's not really the guy that's knocking everybody out. He seemed more like a guy who's grinding out those fights. And yeah, I think Till, we've seen it happen a few times now, especially guys moving up from 170 to 185 specifically. What the fuck?
Sorry, no, I just sent a text. Somebody was trying to call me, so that was me speed typing. Call you when I'm done. Call you when I'm
Let me actually.
done.
I'll take a
Sorry.
moment, Mike. Just let me take a moment really quick to plug the YouTube page. Just take a moment, guys. Go subscribe on YouTube,
Please.
Michael Bisping Podcast, Believe You Me Podcast. Also, iTunes. Go leave us a 5-star ranking, positive review. We love all the positive feedback. And, every episode we've ever done is available on demand at your fingertips at gasdigitalnetwork.com. That is our network. And, you get pre-released in the episodes a day before they go to iTunes or anywhere else, ad-free and uncensored. Use the promo code BYM for a 14-day free trial and a $1.50 discount on the membership if you decide to get that. Sweet.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, that seems like a good segue for you to disappear then. That's a good moment. It's a great moment for you to duck out on the fans, to shirk your responsibilities, to go trip the Light Fantastic in New York. I don't know what you're up to now. It's probably something really fun. You're probably going to meet up with some chick, maybe have a date with a guy, in the year 2019, do whatever you want. But yeah, just whatever it is, you're just not doing the podcast. It's fine. We get it. Thank you. Harrington, everyone, slow clap Lewis out the building. Well done. Bye.
All right, guys. Thank you. If you want
No, don't talk. You're done.
Tell them how to send in the questions, at least. Tell them how, okay? Can you guys do
Send
that?
in questions to bympod@gmail.com. If you have a video question, that would be greatly appreciated. We do like text, we do like audio, but video is more fun and more interactive. But Lewis, I'll give you a call later, bud. Have a good day. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it, bud. Now I want to talk to you because I go to England next week, so we're going to schedule stuff. Harrington, jump in, buddy. Take the hot seat. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Ooh, it's a big moment, doggy. All right, now that Lewis has, as I say, shirked his responsibility, and we have the beautiful Mike Harrington in his place. Harrington, we were just discussing the great Darren Till moving up to middleweight, 185. I think it's a smart idea. I think it will give longevity to his career. He'll be able to take a punch better, and I think he's by far big enough to be a middleweight. What say you, doggy?
There's nothing I'd love to see more than somebody with his power and his size move up to what I think is the right weight class for him. We already saw with Robert Whittaker how a guy making that jump can go from getting knocked out to becoming a champion. My question for you, though, Mike, in the recent sparring footage he's been showing, he's working out in Brazil again. I don't know if you remember, he came up, was undefeated in Brazil. He was talking about wanting to fight to, get back with his family or whatever. He came back to Liverpool, started getting into fights outside of nightclubs, lost a couple of fights. Is it, in your mind, is it beneficial for his career to get back to his roots in Brazil and back on the winning track?
That's an interesting question. I know he has a daughter down there in Brazil, so perhaps he's just gone down there to visit his daughter and spend some quality time with her. That's what I'd assume. I don't know if he's relocated training camps. I haven't seen anything saying that. So he's probably just gone down there to see his daughter. People talk about, distractions and things like that. Everybody says, all the Brazilian fighters that I've spoken to, and this isn't my words, they say that when they move to ATT away from Brazil, life becomes much calmer. I remember, who was it now? It was Renato Moicano. Renato Moicano said that his life, he lived in kind of like a ghetto-ish area of Brazil, and every day going to the gym, he had a lot of problems, a lot of violence, a lot of gangs, things like that. He had stuff like that to deal with. But then he moves to America and he's at ATT. All he's got to do is get out of bed and go train. So I'm not sure if going to Brazil is the answer to a calmer life. I think he's just down there seeing his family. I don't think he needs to be in Brazil. He's got a great team now. I think it's Next Generation in Liverpool. Oh, no, pardon me, Team Cowboy. I think they're rival gyms, so my apologies on that one. Yeah, he's got a great team there, got some great teammates. So I think going up to 185 is probably a good idea.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, Mike, want to get in a couple questions here?
All right, let's do it. What have we got?
All right. This first one is from Lyndon Jones. Hi, gents. Discovered your podcast after listening to Michael on Joe Rogan's podcast, and I'm loving every minute of it. Wish there was more Game of Thrones thoughts, though. My question is for Mr. Bisping. I last saw you live at UFC 105 versus Dennis Kang, and you mentioned in the post-fight presser that you witnessed him break mentally. Do you think that is a regular occurrence in the cage now, or do you think today's fighters are much more mentally strong-willed?
Ooh, loaded question there. Many, many things. First of all, the Game of Thrones stuff. It's weird. It's a divisive one because we love Game of Thrones on this show. Everyone involved here loves the show, and rightly so. It's goddamn outstanding. But when we used to talk about it, a lot of people in the YouTube section were like, oh, God, Jesus Christ, can you stop talking about Game of Thrones? Well, fortunately, it's done, but it's still one of the greatest shows ever made. However, the last season was dog shit. It really let everybody down, okay? So the prequel, the preseason, whatever you want to call it, better make up for it. I can't wait to see it. Mentally tough. Well, first of all, thanks for being a fan. Thanks for watching the show. We go off the rails sometimes, but we appreciate you listening. Thank you. UFC 105, I fought Dennis Kang. I did see him break. You get to that point where you can kind of see they just want out of there. And a lot of fighters, they'll kind of curl up and wait for the referee to drag them off, and that's a mental decision. They mentally decide to quit. They curl up in a ball. They cover their head like this, and they don't fight back. And all they're doing there, they're just waiting for the referee to call them off. And what was the last part? Do I see that more these days in the UFC?
Yeah. Do you see that more in today's UFC, or are fighters more mentally tough now?
No, I don't think there's a hard and fast rule for that. I don't think you can look at the fighters of yesteryear and say that they were more mentally tough, nor can you look at fighters of today and say they're mentally tough. I mean, it's on an individual basis, simple as that. There's mentally tough, there's mentally weak, in all shapes and sizes, in all forms of life. You can't just say, oh, well, fighters of today are more mentally tough, or fighters of yesterday are more mentally tough. Doesn't work like that. But yeah, there you go. Harrington, what else we got?
This one is from Brandon Francis. What up? TW Remember Bob here. From Cornwall, Ontario, Canada. BYM is my favorite podcast other than Fighter and the Kid, LMAO, JK. They just talk about dicks all day. Question, Mike, since you're now focusing more on acting, is there a dream actor / actress that you'd love to work with in the future? And yeah, side question, Lewis, have you ever thought about getting into the acting game? If you want to answer that on his behalf, that's fine too.
Yeah, I won't answer on behalf of Lewis. It will be laden with insults. I mean, if they're looking for like a guest villain on the next Batman, I guess Lewis could fit in for that. If they wanted like a weird, taller version of the Penguin, perhaps. No, Cornwall, beautiful place, my friend. What was this guy called, by the way, Bob?
Brandon Francis, and then I think it's TW Remember Mob.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what that means, but Cornwall's a beautiful place. Had some great times holidaying there. What was the question? Oh, I would love one actor that I really admire. There's a few. But Christian Bale. Christian Bale's fucking awesome. It would just be incredible to work with somebody like that, or DiCaprio or whatever. These are the finest actors in our generation, which I don't ever think I'll get to share a screen with them. They are the best at what they do. If they were a world champion or a John Jones, then I would be like on an undercard on like the shittiest regional promotion. Do you know what I mean? So, let's be I got a long way to go. I got to claw my way through the regional scene, become a champ of the regional scene, and then work my way up, But, anything is possible, as they say. I'm trying, but one step at a time.
Mike, not to write your life story or anything, but Christian Bale is he's a proud subject of the Queen. I couldn't think of any movie better to cap off his career than playing the first ever English-born UFC champion. So there's no reason you couldn't be giving him pointers on stage about your life story. It makes the most sense in the world to me.
I'd be like, Christian, you're very good, but you're not quite nailing the emotion of this scene. When I knocked out Rockhold with that left hook, I realized a lifelong dream, and I just feel like you're not encapsulating it. The look in your eye isn't quite enough. You need to be there, Christian. You need to feel it. So, I'm not sure he has the potential, actually. I don't think he can do it. I don't think he can pull it off. So, but yeah. Anyway, there we go. Being silly. What else we got?
All right, I got one more here. It's Luke Mariner. Question for Michael. If there's one fight you never got but wish you did, who would it be against and where would it take place? Cheers, fellas.
Yeah, I guess it could be a bigger name, but I always wanted to fight Rich Franklin. I always thought that was a good matchup. We were never, I don't think so. I don't think the UFC ever discussed it. I only say that out of respect. I always had a lot of respect for Rich Franklin. He was a long-time middleweight champion back in the day, and it was a guy that was the belt holder when I first started looking at the UFC roster. When I knew I was going to be on the Ultimate Fighter and things like that, Rich Franklin was the man. So that was a guy I always wanted to face. Always carried himself with class. Great guy, great ambassador for the sport, and a hell of a goddamn fighter. Here's a guy that broke his arm against Chuck Liddell in the first round, so he knocked him out with the other arm. Great fighter, great guy. That would have been one that I always wanted to fight that never became possible. But there you go.
What's the venue for the fight?
Oh, who cares? Who cares? Anywhere. I fought all over the world. Yeah, I don't care. You know what I mean? England would have been great. America, Timbuktu, India, who fucking cares? They're all the same. At the end of the day, obviously when I fought in England, it was always very special. But realistically, wherever the fight is, it's always the same thing. You walk into an arena, it's pitch black, crowd are cheering, they're either booing, they're cheering, or they're indifferent, they don't really care. Whichever it is, it's the same octagon, it's the same people, it's the same judges. You know what I mean? It's other than your fight week experience in terms of meals, access to your support network. If you're on the other side of the world, you haven't got all your team and your extended support network with you. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, when it's all said and done on the night, it's all the same. Even in the hotel rooms, the workout rooms are the same. It's the same mats, it's the same standing punch bag, it's the same people you deal with. The UFC is a traveling roadshow. They go from city to city, and regardless of wherever the fight is, it's all the same. Now, of course, when you fight at home in your hometown, your home city, your home country, you get an extra pop from the fans, and that's great. Other than that, though, when you step in there, it's the same place wherever you do it. But that's the show. Got off to a bit of a weird start. We're kind of a messy one all over the place. Didn't really plan it too much today. Harrington did a lot of notes, but me and Lewis talks bollocks as usual. We'll be back. I'm hoping for a Sunday for a post-fight show. We'll see how Lewis's schedule is. But Harrington, you're the man. Thank you as always, Brian. And as Lewis said, tell your friends, subscribe on YouTube, share it, retweet, whatever. Spread the word, please, if you don't mind. And until next time, enjoy the fights of the weekend. Have a great weekend and talk to you all soon. Take care.